One more day, one more day. Hey, this is Tamika Marshall saying live up, love, protect, respect. You can't really tell people to just not have sex. Everyone needs to get tested. Everyone. I've done it. You need to do it. Everyone needs to. You need to know your status. It's hard for people to do. You know, it's life. You can understand that. But practice safe sex. Protect yourself.
Get the real facts at iVox.com.
But it's a time when we stop to reflect on a lot of things, including persons who are infected and affected by HIV, persons who have died from HIV, and reflect on our own personal sexual health.
Over the past 10 years, some 24 to 28 people have been diagnosed as HIV positive on the island. At the present time, only a handful of those people live on the island. Most of them seek or require treatment elsewhere. There is still a real fear of stigma and a real fear of publicity, confidentiality, and loss of anonymity. Those things need to be addressed. There are also two groups which we need to address in terms of their rights to care and treatment. That includes commercial sex workers and includes men who have sex with men. So there is still quite a lot of work to be done. But for the vast majority of people, those are not day-to-day issues. And there's been a consistent message in Montserrat over the last few years with ABC, abstain, be faithful, and use a condom, which bears reiteration time and time and time again.
ABC, we hear it repeatedly, but not too often. But I'll add D and E. The Calypsonians tell us chastity is still valuable. Abstain. That's it. And I want to remind us all that the only way we can totally eliminate transmission of the virus, if we do not know what our status is to abstain from sexual activity. That is not practicable for everybody. But there are some persons for whom it should be. This World AIDS Day, I am appealing especially to our children and young people to abstain from sexual activity because you are really not ready. I want to tell you too that there are a number of your peers who are telling you that they are sexually active because they want to identify with what they think the crowd is doing, when they themselves are not yet sexually active. It is tough not to go with the flow, but it is possible. I am not young anymore. You'll tell me I come from way back then. But I know that young people, school children, do not have to be sexually active. You have lots of opportunities and activities that you can engage in today. And so when I stress A, I really wanted to come home to our very youngest population. Wait, don't allow yourself to contract the HIV virus because you become sexually active too early. B, be faithful. The Calypsonian also says that fidelity is premium too. If you are sexually active, however you define yourself, as a heterosexual, homosexual, or even bisexual, if you stick to one partner, you can only infect one other person. As we observe World AIDS Day, I want to say to you to do it. Do what? Get tested. If you have been sexually active in recent years, or if you are sexually active now, the HIV test is available to you free, and take the test. That's the only way you're going to know for sure what your HIV status is. We want to make HIV/AIDS history, and one of the ways in which as a community we will most effectively do this is to eliminate stigma and discrimination. The person who is HIV positive requires support just as much as the person who's diabetic or hypertensive or suffering from any other life-threatening disease. There is no chance that we can be infected by being supportive of people who are HIV positive. One of the reasons why so many people refuse to seek testing, why people are afraid, is that when they find out, we're going to ostracize them. When they find out, they're going to be labeled as unwanted people. But you know what? As I said, HIV/AIDS doesn't discriminate.
In the past 14 and a half months as a Minister of Government, than any other thing that I've learned in any of the 5 areas that I have responsibility for. And I think there's a reason for this. As an educator, someone who taught in high school and college, I know that every year the faces in front of you change. And my concern over the past 12 months was that we were probably not doing enough for the new generations coming forward. Because AIDS and its education, the fact that we prepare to make good decisions and good choices has to be refreshed every year. This information needs to be continuously available, and the level of seriousness should never waver, because HIV is such a clever virus that I don't believe it's going anywhere anytime soon. So that is why the BSS campaign and the ABC method will work for us. When we look at the students in the secondary school, most recently Dr. Prince Ramsey was here, and his presentation made a significant impact. We haven't done any formal reviews of what the accomplishments of that exercise were, but we're hearing things. There are students who are already mobilizing, thinking about making different choices with respect to their sexual practice. They're able to celebrate in some way the consistent commitment and dedication and professionalism of Mrs. Angela Skerry. Based on how much I am up in her ear, she probably thinks that I am giving her a hard time, but I actually admire her work. I actually think she's doing some excellent and innovative things, because we haven't seen the best of her yet. See all these posters? She's the person behind them, putting it together, making the HIV and AIDS pin for Montserrat, which we can't keep because it's so beautiful. And I understand that the previous Minister of Health used to complain that he didn't have enough of them, because every time he traveled and people saw Montserrat's pin, they wanted 1 or 2 or 3. So we know that Mrs. Skerritt's work has great value. And even though sometimes it's not as visible immediately, I think from today that visibility is going to start to change. Now, our commitment continues to our people, but we would also like some volunteering to begin. For some people to start saying that they would join the multi-sectoral team, or to do something individually with your friends to start taking charge of our response to HIV and AIDS. So we have done a lot of work in the past. We acknowledge those who have contributed before our time, and we continue to be committed to making the resources of the government and its funding partners available to those who have to deal with this dreaded disease. So thank you very much for your attention and your time. And with those few words, I would like to declare the Be Sexually Safe, ABC, abstain, be faithful, use a condom. I would like to declare the BSS and ABC campaign open. Thank you very much.
I'm not afraid, no. If them a come, let them come. I'm protected by the Most High One. I'm a ton of the strong one, Mr. Live up, get real.
You need to know your status. Seriously, on a real, get real.
I got tested 6 months ago. I remember I was so nervous. And by the time they did the test, it was so easy. 1, 2, 3, done.
And testing does not get you infected with HIV. There's nothing to fear.
Everyone needs to get tested. Everyone. I've done it. You need to do it. Everyone needs to do it. You need to know your status.
Don't sit down in your house and tell yourself, you straight. Anytime you go live comfortable, you know in your position.
I believe in getting tested. Go to sleep with a clear conscience.
Information empowers us to take control of any situation, including having HIV.
Get the real facts at iliveup.com.